Hi guys, I'm so excited to introduce myself to you today. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a challenge called What's in My Bag, and I'm going to show you what's in my bag. I hope you can get to know me a little bit, and welcome to my home and what's in my bag. So my bag, not an expensive bag, just bought it from it was a gift from Artbox. I like backpacks. This is sturdy. Doesn't have as many pockets as I need it to because you will see I carry many things. So let's start with the front pocket. What do I have in here? Trash and tissue. This is clean tissue. I have a piece of trash. An eraser. I'm a teacher. Some pins. You gotta pin things. So all pretty normal. It doesn't say much about me. What it may say is that I'm not good at throwing my trash away. And yeah. Trusty tumbler. I love this. Use it all the time for coffee. Alright, what else is in my bag? In the side pocket. Candy. I love sweets. I'm definitely more of a sweet person than I am a savory, which is why I visit the dentist a lot and why I've had to have crowns, so teeth removed, or just to have some protective layer on them because they're completely rotten due to candy. But these are really special. I got them in Nigeria. That's where I went on my last vacation. It was really nice, very hot. Alright, I have my notebook. Now, one little difference in things, and this always confuses my students. I always say, bring your notebooks to class, and then they all bring their laptops. So for me, when I say notebooks, this is what I mean. When I say laptop, I mean this, the one that you type with. I don't know if you type like this, but anyways, the one that you type with. I love getting notebooks in Korea, especially I love going to Daiso or Artbooks. I love finding the strangest writing on the note. The stranger, the better. This one is okay. I needed something sturdy and thick, and it's just believe in myself. It's fine, but I don't know what mate is about. Believe in myself, mate. I found another one, which is more interesting. It says, the English, a black mustache and a black hat. Okay. And then it's always these little writings here that just are completely weird. The Englishman has a mustache in London. First of all, I'm from London, and I ain't never seen this Englishman with the mustache. So if you do see them when you go to London, please take a picture so that I can see it. And they has black mustache and black hat. Again, some grammar mistakes and errors. A real gentleman would be wearing a hat. I think we need to have a market where we just proofread everything. We need that because this don't make no sense. It's funny, but it don't make no sense. What else do I have? Now this is definitely, if anyone knows me, you know I love music. I love all genres of music. I love everything. My favorite song in Korea is Nenaiga Desu. Oh, I love that song. Yeah, Nenaiga Desu. I love that. But then you could also find me listening to hip hop, listening to, I think maybe sometimes I've had songs, rock songs that I've liked before, indie, whatever. For me, I don't have a particular genre that I have to listen to. If I like the song, I listen to it. My trusty laptop, I carry it with me everywhere. Sometimes I don't really need to carry it with me, but hey, I need to do work and all that jazz. So there you go. This is what's in my bag. I don't know if you can see it, but here it is. I have loads of things. So what does my bag say about me? I'm a hoarder. I think I carry way too many things. I probably can carry like half of these things and still survive. But for some reason, it feels comfortable to have all my junk. I wanted to also answer some questions that I frequently get asked. Number one is always, why did you come to Korea? Well, I came to Korea because of various reasons. Number one, I accidentally stumbled upon a Korean show. I was looking for, me and my friend, it was a summer holiday. Me and my friend were looking for something to do. We're bored. We don't have enough money to go outside. So we're looking for this group. I think we were trying to listen to some songs, and we're looking for this group called Chung Family. And we were typing it in, and I think the way we spelt it, it brought up this Korean show. I think it's Chung Hayang. In English, it's called My Sassy Girl. So that comes up, and we were like intrigued by the little, the little thumbnail, or the little, you know what I mean, the little image that comes up on the search. So we clicked and we watched like the first episode, and then we're like, oh, this is interesting. So we watched some more and some more. Before we know it, we finished the series, and we were like, we want another show of these Korean shows. And we started watching more. I think we watched Boys Over Flowers, and we just started to find more shows and more shows. And then we stumbled upon 21, and then we stumbled upon Big Bang. And so we just fell in love. And it became this kind of really obsession. I wanted to, I would go to the Asian markets near me and buy ramyeon, or try to buy kimchi in a can, but it tasted awful. And we would just try and do everything like we would see in the dramas. So I finally said to myself, hey, why not go there for a holiday? I tried to come for a holiday, but it didn't quite work out. And then I decided to make a big life decision, which was to move to Korea and work for a year as an English teacher. Because by that time, I started to watch a lot of videos about living in Korea, teaching in Korea, and then so many YouTubers would, sell the lifestyle of, come over, it's so exciting, it's so fun, I did it was easy, apply. So I decided to do that. So I made the move, initially for 1 year, and now 6 years later, I'm still here. Yeah. What's my favorite Korean food? I get asked this all the time. I would say samgyeopsal. And many people are like, that's not really Korean food. But I'm sorry, that I love meat, and that's my favorite thing to eat. I love samgyeopsal, and I also love dakgalbi, but I think samgyeopsal just trumps it. It's just so good. I do love a good kimchi jjigae and a good doenjang jjigae. I love a good soup, that it kind of heats you up. I love a really good one. And I think there's a place in Chuncheon that I really like going to, which is called Gomi Gomi, which does grilled fish. That place is, it's so good. So I like that. I don't really like Korean seafood. Not Korean seafood, I just don't like seafood at all. But like anytime we've gone to a Korean restaurant where it's mostly seafood, I would not be like, yay. It's just not my thing. I don't think it's because Korean seafood is bad. I just don't like seafood. And some fusion foods, I'm just like, ugh. I remember having a really hard time adjusting to like all the sweet flavors, like sweet pizza, sweet garlic bread, sweet, everything is always so sweet. But now I've switched over to the other side. I've noticed that I prefer more sweet things than I do savory things. And not just because I like candy, but just because I've been here so long, I'm getting more used to that kind of flavor. What is it like being black in Korea? I always get asked that a lot, not from Koreans, but from people outside of Korea. It's really interesting. When I first came here, this is what it felt like. It felt like I was a celebrity. Like, in London, I'm not a celebrity. In fact, in London, nobody's looking at me. If somebody's looking at me, something's wrong with me. I either look crazy, or there's just something seriously wrong with me. But in Korea, for no particular reason at all, people would just stare. Like, when I first came, people would stare at me. Especially when I was on the subway in Seoul. Like, you just see eyes just, like, turning and being like, that's a black person. And then you're just like, yeah, hi. Like that. Or you get an ajumma would come and touch my hair. I'm like, oh, wow, and then you're just like, okay, but they don't even ask. I think that was a problem. People don't ask, and they just stare, and then they just touch you. I've had people touch my skin and stuff like that. Do I think it's racist? Not necessarily. It could be. The person could be really racist, but I would never know because one, I don't understand the language. So I don't know if they're being racist, but for me, I think it's more curiosity. I think when I think when Korean people see foreigners, they're really curious. They're curious about what they like. Especially if you've never really met somebody from somewhere, you don't really know their culture. You don't really know that person very well. You may be curious, and you may find certain features curious. Like you may be curious about certain features. For example, my hair. A lot of people are curious about my hair because it changes all the time. And unlike Korean hair, it's not down, it's up most times. And I'm just like, I have different type hair. I wish people would learn more about other cultures so that it's not such a big shock all the time. But I understand it. Sometimes it does feel uncomfortable though. Sometimes it's great because you're just walking, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm black. Want to take a picture of me? Because people have taken random pictures of me, and then you're just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. But other times it's just like you're not having the best day, or you don't feel like you're looking your best, and then someone's staring at you and touching you, and just like it can be a bit bothersome, and it just can be frustrating. Funny experiences that I've had in Korea have been just the language issues, like ordering McDonald's, and then the delivery guy asked me where should I drop it, but I don't know exactly how to say that, or teaching students and they have no idea what I'm saying, and I'm trying to get them to understand, and it's like it's frustrating and it's funny. Yeah, but overall I think I've had a pretty positive experience of being in Korea. People are really kind. I've adapted to it, to the lifestyle here. I think when I travel to other parts of Southeast Asia, or around Asia, and I come back to Korea, I feel like I'm at home, because I feel like, oh, I don't understand fully the language, but I can, I understand it better than other languages. I feel more comfortable here as well, and every time I leave, I appreciate Korea more. So that is me. I am, someone that carries a lot of things. I've lived in Korea for 6 years. I'm quite happy here. My Korean language is it's not very good. It could be better. It could be better. And so that's something that I need to work on. So that is it for my introduction of what's in my bag and the common questions that I get. Okay, so I now want to talk to you about the 5 vocab words of the week. The first one, with a lot of these words, you've probably heard of it, or you may have seen it, or you may even know it, but you certainly should be either using it or definitely understanding it better. Now, it's really interesting. I've been looking through some of the assignments, some of the worksheets that have been sent back to me, the slang word worksheets from last week. And a lot of you were like, I'm giving it my best. I'm not really sure, but I really do appreciate that. I will be taking a look at them. There are a lot of them, but I will be taking a look at them. And I did see some really good examples, and I'm really appreciative that everyone's trying to use them. One thing that I would say is, if you look up those words in the dictionary, you will get their original meaning. So a lot of the slang words, they're words that most times they're words that already exist. So if you look at the dictionary, it's not really helpful because it will give you the actual meaning. Like squad goals, for example, it would give you the meaning of like, this is a team goal, which really isn't the essence of it. When it's a slang term, a squad goal is really about admiration. It's really about who you want to be like. Another example is snatched. To snatch something is to take something away in the dictionary, but in a slang term, snatch means to look good. So be careful about that. I would say instead go on Urban Dictionary and look at those words, because that would show you the slang meaning. But do be careful, Urban Dictionary is quite raw, so it might give you some sentences, some phrases that have swear words and stuff like that, and you don't want to be using that every day, unless you're that kind of person, but I wouldn't advise it. So yeah, if you're looking up at the dictionary, use Urban Dictionary or type in slang word and then the word that you're searching for so that you can get the meaning that we're talking about, not the actual meaning of the word. All right, let's start. This week's words, the first word is bay. Okay, bay. And it simply means before anybody else. You my bae. Hey bae, what up bae? And it's basically for your significant other. It's just a word that you would use for your special someone. Okay? In Korea, I think what I usually hear between married couple is 여보, 당신 집사람. And for me, it's always like, I don't know why, but those Korean words, I don't know. If you're a Korean person, do these words sound romantic to you? Because to me, it doesn't. I'm like, 여보, I don't know if it doesn't sound romantic to me. And 집사람, when I translate it, like the person in my house, or I'm just like, doesn't sound romantic. And 당신, again, maybe I just don't understand the romance behind it. But what do you call your significant other? What's the hip word to call the significant other? But you can call it that. You don't have to limit bae to just a person. You can make your bae anything. You can make chicken your bae, for example. I would definitely make chicken my bae. So simply I could say chicken is my bae. This is my bae. Hey bae. This is how you can use this word. Another thing that you can say if you're, some people are really into wine. They're like, wine is my bae. Or coffee. Coffee is my bae. You can use it that way. So it's just a simple term that you use for your significant or your special person. So the second word is the word lit. And I don't use this word, but you hear a lot of people use the word. I feel uncomfortable using the word because it's really not of my generation. My generation would say things like sick or bad. We say a lot of wicked. But now the word is lit, or I hear a lot of people say fire, but it's really American, so it sounds really strange when it comes from me. But lit, it just means something that's exciting. It's something that's fun, exciting. It's just, whew, you're just having a good time. So a lot of the times you can say the party was lit, the concert last night was so lit, this is lit, whatever. If you use it on Instagram, you can put the little fire emoji everywhere, and it just signifies it was lit, 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 lit. The next word is the word GOAT, and it just simply stands for greatest of all time. And this is really originated by the great Muhammad Ali. His wife apparently used to call him the GOAT, the greatest boxer of all time. And now this kind of, this has spread out. So sometimes you will see it again as an emoji on Instagram as a little goat. And it's usually for sports personalities. Usually you would see it for sports personalities or people that have achieved something within their category. So for example, some people, love Steph Curry. They would be like, Steph Curry is the GOAT. When my students usually use it, sometimes I think I would say stick with it being just for sports personalities, or can you go beyond that? I'm not sure, but just stick to using it for sports personalities. If you start using GOAT for everybody, like it just ends up sounding weird and awkward, and it doesn't really fit. The next one is throwing shade. Now, throwing shade is a really hard one to explain because it's not I can only show it to you in an example. So, throwing shade is basically dissing somebody, but how can I say? It's a direct diss. So, you're almost dissing somebody, or you're talking about someone, but it's obvious who you're talking about. So for example, I have an example here on my computer. It says Shelly speaking. It says, some people are messy when they're drunk. Now in this situation, when she says some people are messy when they're drunk, it could be anybody, but if in the context of the situation, everybody knows who is messy when they're drunk, it's really obvious who she's talking about. So it's almost like you're indirectly kind of offending somebody or dissing somebody, but without really saying who it is. So it's a little bit complicated, but it'll be like some people are messy when they're drunk, and everyone in the classroom will be like, looking at Bridget, because Bridget was really messy when she was drunk last night. And then Bridget can say, "Are you throwing shade at me? Like, seriously? Are you talking about me?" So I'll do it again. This is Shelly. Shelly says, "Some people, they're messy when they're drunk." Everybody in the classroom, "Bridget, are you throwing shade at me?" So it's you indirectly talking about somebody else, dissing them, disrespecting them, but without really saying their name. But you make it obvious enough for everybody to know that you're talking about them. And that's really throwing shade. Do you have that in your language? Do you have that kind of way of speaking about people? Or how do you diss somebody? What's the way to diss someone? The last one is Gucci. Now, I admit I don't really use it, but I think this is one of my favorite words that I came across when I was preparing these kind of things. And Gucci just replaces good. So if somebody says, "How are you doing today?" you can say, "I'm Gucci." Everything's Gooch. It's just like, "How are you doing? Gucci." What have you been up to? Nothing. Just keeping it Gooch. Everything's Gucci. Everything's good. Everything's great. So just another word for good. And that's really important because a lot of my students always say the word very good. And I think that's one thing that if you want to make yourself a little bit more interesting when you're speaking in English, try and change or try and learn a few more words for words that you use in like commonly. So a lot of the time I hear from my students good job or very good or fine. So I would say replace them. So try it. Try and use the word Gucci. Next time somebody says, "How are you doing today?" "I'm doing great. I'm Gucci." Try and use that kind of word instead of "I'm very good. I'm fine, thank you. And you?" You know, we all have that joke, but really it happens in real life. A lot of people just use the same vocabulary. So that is all for the vocab today. So words to remember: bay, lit, goat. I'm trying to look because I can't remember. Throwing shade, and Gucci. Again, use Urban Dictionary if you want to check for the meaning or if you want to just get a bit more examples. But don't go to the normal dictionary. And that's all. Okay, and like magic, we're back in my office. No, not like magic. I changed locations. Anyways, let's carry on with the class. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about how to speak faster, or how to maybe just start, thinking about how a native speaker speaks. What are the qualities of a native speaker's pronunciation? So you may be wondering, like, I thought this was a conversation class. But actually, if you kind of think about pronunciation a little bit, think about how a native speaker speaks, that may help you to understand better and also may encourage you to be able to speak faster. It just may help you to gain some skills, gain some insights. So we're going to take a look at this text, and it's called Saturday Morning. We're going to just read it really as we would normally read it if we were doing it, just a reading. And I'm going to do it a couple of times. Let's just read, and you can read along with me. It starts from here and ends over here with a full stop. First I called my mother. We talked for an hour. Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. I went to the kitchen, made a cup of tea, took out my English book, and I studied carefully. I finished all my homework without a mistake. Then I decided to take a little this is just itty bitty break. I sat down for a minute to watch some TV, fell asleep, and oh my gosh, I woke up at 3. So I'm reading it a little bit chunk because I'm used to doing it as a rhythm, so you can already hear my reading is terrible. This is how a lot of my students read. They literally take a big gulp of breath. First I called my mother, we talked for an hour, then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. I went to the kitchen, made a cup of tea, took out my English book, and I studied carefully. I finished all my homework without a mistake. Then I decided to take a little itty bitty break. I sat down for a minute to watch some TV, fell asleep, and oh my goodness, I woke up at 3. Now, it's great, you've read fast, but you need to take a break. A lot of the times, you need to be watching for the punctuation, full stops, commas, exclamation marks. I always ask my students, if there's a question mark, what should you do? Your voice needs to go up. If there's an exclamation mark, what you need to do? Your voice needs to go up. When you read it, we need to hear it as well. It makes it more interesting, and it conveys the meaning. So when you're speaking, you're trying to convey meaning, and you need to change the tone of your voice. You need to change the pitch so that we understand what is the meaning. And a lot of my students, unfortunately, sound sarcastic. They sound as though they are not happy most of the time because they just use this flat tone like this. First I called my mother, we talked for an hour, then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. Like, it's just flat. There's no going up and down. And I always tell them, you have to go up and down in English. It feels unnatural sometimes. It feels a little, sorry, I've got my laptop down here. It feels a bit more natural to, just speak, like this. In a formal setting, maybe. But even in a formal setting, I think in English, you need to be a bit more alive. Engage a little bit more. Which is why I would advise you, think of English very different to your language, to your native tongue. Think of it as completely different. Treat English as a completely different new thing. And you will really develop from there. So we're going to take a look at a couple of things that can help you, not only to listen out for quick speakers when you're watching TV, and you need to know what are the people doing. How does a native speaker speak? What are they doing when they speak? And then also how you can use this to work on text. And the first thing you need to know is, or you need a reminder of, is syllables are quite important. So how a word is divided is quite important. So a syllable is how many units a word is divided into. And we usually look at when we're counting syllables, we're counting the amount of we're counting the vowel sounds that we hear. So in the word first, what is the vowel sound that we hear? We only hear one, which is the I. There's no other vowel sound. We don't hear first. We just hear first. Another way that you can tell how many syllables are in a word is how many times your jaw moves up and down. So if I say the word first, I'll say it slowly. First. So my jaw moved up and down one time. Whereas if I say the word tennis, watch my jaw, I'll say it slowly. Tennis. So it goes like this twice, and that means, it's a 2-syllable word. Another way that you can tell the syllables is by beating it. So remember, we're trying to find out what is the rhythm of these people. How did they speak? What is the beat and the rhythm that they speak? So when you say the word first, it only has one beat. First. You don't go first. You just go first. But for the word tennis, it has 2 beats. So tennis, 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 tennis. Can you hear it? You can't say ten. If you want to try and make it into one beat, tennis. It just sounds different. Or 3 beats, tennis. Then you kind of get, a little bit of a Korean accent onto it. What else is there? So that's syllables. So words like first, I, cold. Cold. Again, you can check it. Cold. My jaw only goes up and down one time, so 1 syllable. Now, a super easy way to do this, you can do it this way, as I've told you, beating or testing how many times your jaw goes down, or looking at the word and just saying the word out loud, cold, and whatever you hear, the vowel sound that you hear, then it tells you how many syllables there are. A super easy way to do this is to go on howmanysyllables.com. So if you're unsure how many syllables a word has, pop it into howmanysyllables.com and it will let you know. Super easy way to do that. But the reason why you need to know about syllables is that a word with more than 1 syllable, 2 or more syllables, so more than 1, 2 or more syllables, like, for example, tennis, we need to know which part that we're going to say louder, so which part we're going to stress, and which part we're going to say quieter. So we cannot just say tennis. It doesn't sound right. So if we look at the word tennis, we can split it up in two chunks. Te and nis. These are the sounds. Remember, we're not looking at consonants, we're looking at vowels. These are the sounds that we hear. Now, so if somebody's talking, they ask you, what did you do last weekend? I played tennis. You're going to be like, what? What's that word? You get a little bit confused. And so here, in this word, we know that we're going to go up like this, and then we're going to go down. So we're going to go high, and then go low. Tennis, tennis, tennis. Down. Good. Now, there are rules. For example, 2-syllable nouns usually stress the first part. So there's some rules that you can also follow. But for me, another quick and easy way to figure out if you're not sure how a word should be pronounced, where is the stress, then you can go to a website. I think I'll pop it into the comments, or I'll pop it on the video. Is 2phonetics.com. You just type in the word and you either choose the British version of the pronunciation or the American version, and it tells you. You click on the button and it tells you. Usually, I've marked it like this, but usually it tells you like this. It puts a little dash, and wherever this little dash is, it points to where the stress is. So super simple, super simple. So you've got howmanysyllables.com, and you've also got 2phonetics to help you with finding out the syllables and to help you to know how you pronounce the word. It's very important. If you come across a new word that you don't know how you say it, check its pronunciation. You can also check in the dictionary. It tells you exactly how you should pronounce the word as well. Or even some translation apps. Usually I use Google Translate or Papago, and if I write the word in Korean, the English word, and it translates it into Korean, it always tells me how you pronounce it. So there's no excuse for you not knowing how to pronounce a word. That is the number one thing to do. When you get something new, or when you write up something and you're not sure about the pronunciation, or maybe I or your friend or a teacher says, hey, that doesn't sound quite right, check it in the dictionary and find out. So let's try and have a little read of it. So maybe, first of all, I will put the line here. Now, some people just put one line, I put 2 lines. So this would show my first chunk. This is the first part that I'm going to say. And the thing that's really important is, from here to here, there's no pause. I'm just going to say the sentence in one go, like this. First, I called my mother. Instead of, first, I called my mother. Can you see that? First, I called my mother. There's like little breaks, almost like first break, I called, break, my mother. That is not how a native speaker would say that sentence. They would say all of the words together. They would be linking, okay? Linking. They would try and link all of the sounds, all of the words together, as if it was one word that they were saying. So let's take a look at how a native speaker would link these words. So here, usually it's easy. We normally just link vowel sound, a consonant sound to the vowel. So if one word ends in a consonant and the next word is a vowel, boom, we linked it. So instead of first I, you just say first I, okay? Almost like you're saying first I, first I. Just think about it, first I. Hey, what's your first I? Hey, are you first I? I don't know what word that is. First I, first I, first I, first I. There is a possibility to link it here, but I'm going to just do this one. We're just going to do simple version. So first I called, and then again, this is like my I. It has a vowel sound, so we can link it. My mother, my mother, my mother, my mother, my mother, my mother. Okay, so we're going to say it all in one breath. I'm going to put it here. You don't have to put it here, but this is just to show you that this is all one time. First I called my mother. First I called my mother. Now one thing that you can do, you can even take this Y away and put an A, and then just say my mother, my mother, my mother, my mother. First I called my mother. First I called my mother. Or first I called my mother. But it's all linking. Alright, next part. So we take a pause here, and then We talked for an hour. Now, again, I can carry on. We talked for an hour, then I played. If I do that, there's just too many words. So I can just break it a little bit and give myself a little bit of a break. So here again, there's a vowel, there's a consonant, so we talk. The way that I wrote it is maybe if you think of the we and then we talk, like TikTok, we talked. And if you hear it, this ed sound changes to t. Again, there is a rule for that. There's a rule for how past tense endings are to be read or to be pronounced. We talked for an hour. Now, for an, again, nice linking here. And it can change. It sounds like the word foreign. For an hour. We talked for an hour. And here again, for an hour. And this is silent, so we can even take it away. For an hour. And almost to me, it sounds like hour. For an hour. Okay? So if you do it, first I called my mother, we talked for an hour. And again, you sound more like a native speaker already. So if you meet your friend, you were saying, hey, if your friend says to you, what did you do on Saturday? First I called my mother, we talked for an hour. Okay, and then we go on to the next one. Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. You can hear it in my voice, right? Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. If I say it from here to here, it's a little bit stressful. So maybe I can take a pause here. Now, what is nice about this is the speaker, you can choose where you pause, but there's certain places that you're going to feel even comfortable stopping. So then I played tennis. We can't really link playing tennis. We can't really link them, but we can still say them in one breath. Then I played tennis. Instead of then I played tennis. Then I played tennis. Okay, then I played tennis. And remember, we're stressing here. Then I played tennis. Went home and took a shower. We're going to pause here. Went home and took a shower. Went home. And this is like it's fading away. It's still there, but it's almost like you don't hear it. Went home, went very soft. Not went. I'm not saying went home and took it. Went home and took a shower. I don't say completely take it away. Keep it there, but it's very faint. Went home and it almost sounds like this. Went home and took a shower. I think we can take it over. Took a shower. Then I went home and took a shower. Then I played tennis. Went home and took a shower. Almost sounds like a completely different word. I went. Now again, if you have two consonants that are the same, you can join those two as well. I went to the, and now I introduce you to another aspect of casual speaking. I went to the. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called the schwa. This is a phonetic symbol. And again, I'm going to post up the phonemic chart so you can take a look at it. This is the most common vowel sound in English. And it basically is like this. The, t. And it takes shape of a lot of syllables, a lot of vowel sounds. Here, shower, where else? If we come across it, I'm going to mention it. But it usually replaces the original sound. Okay, so we're not going to say the, we're going to say the, Think of a caveman. That's what the sound is. Caveman, That is what it is. Okay, so schwa. So here, that takes the place of a schwa. Again, here, this takes the place of a schwa. Shower. So most times when you look at on 2phonetics.com, when you look at the word, it will tell you where the stress is, and it will also say if the sound is turned into a schwa sound. Again, that's another aspect of sounding more like a native speaker. So I went home and took I went to the kitchen, made, well, let's keep the E, otherwise we'll be mad. Made a cup of tea. Lots of opportunities to link there. Made a cup of tea. Made a cup of tea. So now we've put our notes. So one thing. So let me recap what you need to do. If the word has 2 or more syllables, then you need to find out how do you pronounce it. Where is the stress? Okay, so go to 2 phonetics, type it out. If you don't know, type it out and it will tell you. And then mark where is the stress so that you know where you're saying it right. Look at the text and put breaks. Read it out and then decide where you're going to break. You know, where you're going to take a pause. And then check to see if there's any linking that you could make. And then lastly, if there's any schwa sounds that are there. And then this is what it would sound like. First I called my mother, we talked for an hour, then I played tennis, went home. Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. So there's 2 ways. Again, it's not like there's a set way of speaking, it's up to the speaker. When I read it the first time, I felt like it was more comfortable to pause here. But the second time, I'm like, actually, I can do everything in one go, and it should be fine. It should be okay. So let's try it. Then I played tennis, went home and took a shower. I went to the kitchen, made a cup of tea, took out my English book and studied carefully. Okay? And that's how it sounds. Sounds a little bit complicated, but it's really helpful. So first thing, when you have a text, it could be a dialogue, it could be a little paragraph. What you need to do, first of all, read it and then decide where you're going to take a little bit of a break or where you naturally hear a break. Then, if there are words with 2 or more syllables, you need to check or decide where the stress will go. If you don't know, check it with 2 phonetics, or in an online dictionary, it's also usually say where the stress is. Then you need to see if there's any linking, and linking is really for casual conversation. Professional conversation, I would say, still say the word as it is. Still, you know, if I was reading it professionally, I would say, first I called my mother. Like, I would make sure that you pronounce all of the sounds, don't join them too much. And then also, if there's any schwa sound, make sure that you're aware of them and make sure that you're saying them. Make sure that you're not saying shower instead of shower. Shower. And instead of I went to the kitchen, I went to the kitchen. So those are some helpful things that you can do to make your English better. Now I have the next part, and I think I might give this as homework so that you can kind of work on it. Put the pauses. Do the linking. Words with 2 or more syllables, tell me where the stress is. So this is how it goes. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to say it to you as homework. I finished all my homework without a mistake. Then I decided to take a little itty bitty break. I sat down for a minute to watch some TV, fell asleep, and oh my gosh, I woke up at 3. One more time. I finished all my homework without a mistake. Then I decided to take a little itty bitty break. I sat down for a minute to watch some TV, fell asleep, and oh my gosh, I woke up at 3. And what you will know is, well, it rhymes, so you can turn it into a song as well. That's the key part. So what I want you to do for homework is work on this text. Tell me, where are you going to pause? Are there any linking happening? Any schwa sounds? And where is the stress? Those are the 4 things I want you to do. Pausing, linking, stress, and schwa. And hopefully you have fun with it. And that is, you know, when you start getting used to this, when you have a dialogue, you can do this, and it will help you to sound more like a native speaker. It will also help you to understand a lot more how a native speaker speaks. So that was my introduction to, kind of preparation for conversation. Now, some of you wrote to me and they were like, your English is really bad, and, maybe your writing and your speaking is really bad. This is really helpful for your speaking. If you can do this, it helps you not only to understand, but it helps you also to speak. And really, practice makes perfect. And with this, there is no perfect way of doing it. There's no perfect way of doing it. But the more you do it, the more you become aware of, the fact that English speakers pause, and within a thought, they say everything within one breath. They don't pause. And they also link a lot of sounds. It will make you sound more like a native speaker, and you will understand a native speaker a lot better. All right, that is all from me for this week. We'll see you next week again in our virtual class, talking about another aspect of English. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me, for example, today I shared with you also some facts about me, and also some common questions that I get asked. If you have other questions that you would like to ask me, please message me. And have a great day. Stay safe, be calm, and enjoy English. Bye-bye.